Happy Thursday and welcome to the morning after. Today we are discussing episode 8, Hometown Week of Chris LaRue. I think it's LaRue. Some people are saying LaRue. Season of The Bachelor. Hometowns are not my favorite week. This one did not disappoint, but the one I'm looking forward to is Women Tell All. I'll go through chronological order. So Michaela's hometown is first. And I loved how Michaela talked about horseback riding and that place being her safe place because it didn't matter what you looked like to be a good horseback rider. And it just felt like she had really good parents. And I thought that was really sweet. And she has her the whole date is a one-on-one time, but she has her sit-down time, where they sit on they sit on hay, and she says, I want to be at the end of this with you, not because we have the best connection, but because I'm the girl of your dreams. And I just loved this sentiment and this sentence. It was just, I'm so glad she said that on TV, and I think a lot of people should bear that in mind when going on this show. And then, of course, Michaela tells Chris that she has fallen in love with him, and that's not surprising at all, because Hometown Week is the week where that happens. This was really sloppily edited, I've got to say. It was very much like, how are you feeling about meeting my family? Like the second her face turned away, it was like meeting my family. It just felt very choppy. That said, it didn't really impact the meaning behind it. And Michaela's dad is hilarious. I thought it was so cute. He's like, did you save your money? He's like, I'm an accountant. It was really cute. Oh crap, my buzzer. 1 second. Oh, the joys of Facebook Live. Okay, I'm back. Did you save your money? I'm an accountant. And then he mentioned pooling his and Michaela's stepdad's resources to make something terrible happen to Chris. I thought that was so cute. I wrote, he is a hoot. That's what I wrote about him. Okay, Katie's hometown. I couldn't help but roll my eyes when Katie, too, said that she has realized she's fallen in love with Chris. It just felt right on cue. Chris's face almost seemed to say, like, oh, you too? So 2 for 2 so far with the falling in love. I did feel bad for Katie when they made a montage of her speaking about how she found herself. It clearly was coming from the heart and was a, meaningful moment for her. And then they turned it into a sort of montage of her just like blabbing endlessly, and I just thought that was a little harsh. It just didn't seem necessary to mock her for it, especially considering what ended up happening this episode. So Katie talks about her perfect guy from her journal entries from 2 years ago, soulmate Chris, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, there's clown music in the background. I couldn't help but think, okay, she told the producers about this, and the producers were like, oh, you have to tell him this. Like, yes, tell him this, encouraging her. And then it just seems sort of nasty to sort of pull the rug out from under her and put clown music behind it, sort of like taking away from the legitimacy of what she had written. And anyway, the best part about this entire day was watching Chris watch Katie, because it was bemused personified. He was just like, the entire time. It was really funny. And then, I gotta say, knowing all this, knowing about soulmate Chris and her perfect guy and how hard she's falling, I maintain that Chris should have sent Katie home last week, or at least sooner, because it just made, she's obviously not becoming any less invested by the week, and she clearly does not have her wits about her to the extent that you would think she would, so it just seemed like, waiting this long made it harder for her. Her dad is so cute, super gentle and sweet. I loved him. And also interesting, one last thing about Katie, I had a lot of notes on this hometown. How she said to her mother on the topic of feeling confident with 2 other women still in the mix, she said, this is my person, this is the person I've been looking for, so it must be reciprocated. It was so like, it must be, it will be, like, it is so. It was so confident. I was just like, how can anyone be that confident, let alone in that environment? I'm not that confident in my day-to-day life. She was so, like, she's like, it's going to be reciprocated. Like, it wasn't even an option. It was the craziest thing. Okay, so Lindsay's hometown. Grandpa D. Oh my God, so precious. I wrote down he's like a Disney character. He was so cute. He had such a good attitude. When he mentioned Lindsay's grandmother, without him even going into detail, I actually teared up, which I never do on this show. I never cry on this show. And yeah, I teared up a bit when he talked about his wife. It was just really, really sweet. And then Lindsay says she's actually in love with Chris. 3 for 3, you guys. I'm telling you, they go into their separate spaces where they talk to producers. They all come to the realization that they're in love. Like clockwork. Interesting how in the ITM to follow, they show Chris saying, I love her too. I wrote in my notes, why are they showing this? And then I discussed this in my Flair recap this week. Lindsay's dad's pretty rough, as are her sisters. But can I just say that her dad has the most fantastic speaking voice. If he ever wants a career in voice acting, it is his for the taking. Wow, what a voice. It's so cool. Anyway, I love how Lindsay subtly breaks the fourth wall, sort of constantly. Actually, she does it really regularly. She said, yeah, Mom. She was talking about what the tone was when she left versus what it is now, which is now she has real feelings, and what it was when she left was, yeah, Mom, it's just an adventure, I'll be fine, I'm not going to get hurt, I probably won't even like the guy. I love how she said that, because that truly is the tone in most contestants' minds going into it. So it's always a little annoying when people are like, oh, like they're so desperate they can't get a date in real life. It's like, not really. None of them have a hard time getting a date. It's an adventure. It's you know, I'm just gonna see the world, and I probably won't even like the guy. We'll see. You know, you sort of set yourself up. You keep your expectations managed. And I just love that she said that. It was like severe fourth wall breakage that I enjoyed immensely. Okay, rose ceremony. Oh, by the way, I talk about Lindsay's sisters, her Cinderella stepsisters in my recap today. You might say I was a little harsh, but I don't have a lot of tolerance for the way they behaved. I just think it was downright rude, and actually nasty. They were not nice. I don't care whether it's a TV show or not. Okay, so rose ceremony. Katie's face when Chris gives Lindsay the second rose. This was epic. Epic. Her jaw dropped to the floor. Bachelor Canada did a gif of this, and it's a really, I mean, it's what I feel like almost everyone at that point wants to do, but no one does because they're like, they don't want to give it to the camera. They're just kind of like, even though they're like boiling up inside and they're so furious. I love that she just lets it go. She just lets her emotions free, and it's really good TV. I really enjoy it. That said, I have a lot of like love-hate with Katie, because I do feel like, how can she be as confused as she is? Like I said last week, like hordes of girls leave brokenhearted season after season. And was this really not even an optional scenario in her mind? Just an option that she would be going home. It's that level of confidence. Like it's up to her to mentally prepare, especially in this environment, in the real world too. And I just felt like she should have had her blinders. No. She had her blinders on when she should have had her antennas up. And it's kind of on her that she left as shocked as she did, in my opinion. Okay, that's it for the morning after. I have one question. This is from @SarahT77. Chris's season hasn't seemed especially dramatic to me. What, in your opinion, has been the biggest shocker? I've got to say probably letting Shanti go as early as they did. I think that if, like I said this in my recap at the time, I think if this were the American show, Shanti would have stayed until episode maybe 4 or 5. I mean, they would have milked her for all she was worth, and it would have been terrible for her, and it would have been so frustrating for us. And I love that they didn't, but it is surprising from a reality TV standpoint that they did not use Shanti more. But I thank them for that. I think that's really nice. Okay, so that's it for the morning after. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you here next Thursday where we will discuss episode 9. Bye.